and welcome to Blockchain Gaming World with me, John Jordan. So today the F1 Delta Time crate sale has gone live. So over the last year or so, actually, we've seen quite a lot of activity from F1 Delta Time, the official blockchain game for Formula One, doing auctions. So auctions were high-end cars that were being sold. So we can see this one here, the China Edition 2019 Azure Dragon, sold for 91 ETH, so a fairly substantial amount of cash, about $10,000, over $10,000, I think. The most expensive one sold for over $100,000 at the time. So there's been 5 of these cars sold, and there's actually been another 10 cars sold, one for each of the Formula One teams that are currently in Formula One. But now we're going into crates, which is a slightly different thing. I mean, I guess a more traditional kind of loot box kind of scenario. Obviously, this is a blockchain game, so this is loot boxes on the blockchain. And this is where kind of randomness comes in. So I've just gone to the F1 Delta Time website. I'm actually not connected. You can see in the top right-hand corner, it's asking me to connect my wallet, my blockchain wallet. This is running on Ethereum. I'm not going to do that at the moment. It's sometimes good just to show what the kind of vanilla login is. So we can see here, there's different sorts of crates. So there's common crates. There's a limited edition of each. So 2,500 common crates at $20 each. 2,000 rare at $40, 1,500 epics at $150, and 500 legendary at $500. So we can see already 5 legendary crates have been sold. We can see here, breaking it down even further, that one legendary crate contains at least 1 legendary part, 1 rare part, and 3 common parts. So if you go to common, we can see it'll have at least 1 rare and 4 common. So we kind of get an idea. If I want to get a legendary one, I've got to get a legendary crate. If I want to get an epic one, I have to get an epic crate. But common will give me at least 1 rare. So it's just started off this sale. We've got at the moment, we're on 10% off, I think, for the first week. If you have a referral code, when you connect your wallet, it gives you a referral code, which is basically just a URL based on your Ethereum wallet, and you can get 2.5% of any sales through that. So kind of fairly I guess well set up in terms of being kind of clear what's going on here. Also, there's a bit more of a kind of discount thing. So if I want to buy 5 legendary crates, which I don't, I can save, I don't know quite what that is it 10%, something like that, a bit more than 10% looks like. So I can save certain percentages depending on how much I want to spend, which is kind of basic retailing. That's fine. So, and what's also interesting is if I can spend ETH, I guess that's what we're all kind of used to. Or I can spend DAI, stablecoin. Then there's these other quite, some of these are quite obscure sort of tokens. I never really understand why people have all these kind of tokens. Presumably they must think people who are going to buy their crates must have some of these tokens. I mean, Engine makes sense, Rapteeth makes sense, Maker, I guess, Kyber, Bat, yeah, I mean, I don't know. And I think you can buy with credit cards as well. Well, that doesn't actually show that, does it? I don't know. So the other thing to note is every car ticket gives you a chance to win an Apex car. So they have 3 more of these Apex cars, which are these special ones. These are the special Chinese celestial beasties. And I think every crate you buy gives you a chance to gives you a car ticket. I think that's the case. We'll check into that. So this is the basic setup. Obviously, I'm going to need to connect. So if you go to connect, you have to create an account. So create an account is just a kind of a email password kind of login. I don't think it's just an email actually. It's just an email login because you're logging in with your wallet, I think. I logged in with a wallet, so that's the way I did it. So again, we have this kind of array of different options we can log in with. So I guess everyone knows MetaMask, Dapper from Dapper Labs, kind of Portis, Bitski, and Formatic are kind of ways of not being quite so hardcore about having to have all your private keys written down and go through that kind of process, which the first time you do it, you kind of we've forgotten now. For those of us in the blockchain game space, it's quite traumatic to write all that down. Don't lose your bit of paper, etc., etc. So I have actually logged in, so I'm just going to switch web browsers and actually show you what it looks like when you're logged in. Okay, so here we are, logged in. Doesn't look very different apart from it. You can see my username there, and it has my wallet linked into the referral thing. So What am I going to do? Well, I'm going to have to buy a crate, aren't I? I'm not a big spender. I'm not actually a particularly big fan of pre-sales, but you have to go through do the do. So it's interesting. It doesn't actually give you a fiat option, which I kind of thought this one probably would. Obviously, a fiat option would be you can buy with a credit card, so it kind of potentially either allows people who don't already have cryptocurrency to purchase, or actually, probably more importantly, people who actually do have cryptocurrency but don't want to spend it on things like this. So you might be a big ETH bull. You don't necessarily want to go and spend your ETH on buying some crates, but you're quite happy to put it on your credit card. Anyway, so I'm just going to buy one common box, the lowest common denominator, $20. Let's see how this goes. So obviously I'm going to have to sign with my wallet, and the gas price fairly expensive. So I'm paying 56 cents for gas transactions. So I'm actually paying, well, it's actually under $19. But yeah. And now, obviously, this being a blockchain, we have to wait for the transaction to be closed into the Ethereum block, because that's what happens. And it depends kind of on how much information is being saved into the blockchain and all that sort of stuff. So unfortunately, that's just where we are with blockchains and so-called true ownership, that we have to wait for these things to happen. That's why it's a blockchain game. And this kind of waiting around is sometimes where some companies have kind of run these kind of things through on a side chain. But there we go. Through it comes. So that's gone through into the block, and now we're just waiting for the server that runs this to react. There we go. So transaction successful. I have my crate, so I can go to the garage and have a crate. So this obviously being a kind of real world game, and I think this is quite confusing for these real world games, where they have this kind of season, and obviously because they're linking into a real world season, so it's a soccer game, then it's the players of that season, because obviously they get transferred, and if it's a basketball game, the NBL or whatever it is, you have this seasonal thing, which is problematic, I think, but anyway, let's not go into that. So I can open my common crate and see what I get. Reduce the crate opening times. F1 Delta Time can open your crate for free. You can choose to pay the gas fees. Okay, so this is kind of I think this is kind of good in the sense that if you don't really care, then obviously they can do it. They can probably do a batch kind of minting thing, where they just take all the crates that have been bought in a certain period of time and then just do it all cheaply. Or individually we can pay for the gas fee again. So we're going to pay another gas fee. Okay, that doesn't seem too bad. Obviously, the price of the gas fee partly depends on the transaction thing, and also depends on how complex the smart contract transaction is. So it probably was more expensive last time because they were minting these items, and now they're transferring them to me. So I'm guessing, not being terribly technical, but I'm guessing that's why one was like it was 56 cents and one was like 3 cents. So it's the amount of information you're saving into the block, obviously also matters. So again, a bit of a wait. Just say, looking at my okay, so I'm talking about the car tickets before. So I've also been sent an email. So if you have an email attached, you have to have an email attached to your account. So I have a car ticket, which is just a string of numbers and letters, and I got an email saying, "Here's your car tickets. Please keep them until the winners have been announced. The winners will be announced when the crate sale has ended." So I guess I have to keep that. And now I'm going to have a little animation, are we? So what bits we got? I have a fossil car. I think that's good. I guess it's a car, at least. I have a turbocharger, I have a suit, I have a engine block, and I have some soft tyres, which look like they're a bit more rare than the other ones because they have a green glow to them. And that's everything. So I guess as suggested, I have one rare item, which is the soft tyres, and I have 4 common ones, which is kind of what it said on the tin. So go to the garage, and now I have no crates because I've opened the crate. I have no items. Where am I? I do have items. You just told me. So we always have this fun and games with blockchain stuff where somehow it seems it's lost in the ether, but it's actually just the connection between the blockchain bit of it and the centralized server updating, I hope. Yeah. I mean, this is why blockchain games are problematic because I am laughing, but if I was a real Formula 1 fan and come in and this was my first experience with blockchain, I'd be like, who can I call on the phone? I've just spent $20 and I ain't got nothing. But I am trusting that I do have something and it's somewhere. So there we go. I'm guessing it worked. Yeah, I don't really know. This is why I'm not a massive fan of pre-sales. I kind of think the whole experience is quite clunky, and maybe you're kind of I suppose the people who are getting involved in this are people who know a bit about blockchain. So it's not quite as bad as I'm kind of making out. I'm being a slightly the devil's advocate in this scenario. But it is a little bit trying, I think, when it comes to user experience. And maybe the better thing for blockchain games is to have a kind of just a centralized onboarding process. People play the game, and then you have NFTs as a added extra that kind of come, and people then go, oh, I really love this game, and now I understand that I can kind of buy things in the game rather than buying things before the game is out. Saying that, the game should be out fairly soon. The game Formula 1 season starts, presuming it's not cancelled due to coronavirus, but should be starting in Australia in March. So I guess more videos when the game is actually launched, and I have my parts in my garage, and I can race the car. They'll turn up. It's all right. Anyway, thanks for watching. This is a Blockchain Gaming World, where we play blockchain games and discuss them and all that sort of stuff. So if you're in blockchain games, please do subscribe to the channel. Spend a lot of time and a fair amount of ETH kind of trying to get these things to work. If you have any comments, please put them in the comments box. But thanks for watching, and hope to see you again soon.